Okay, our next session is called The Next Generation. Many believe that AI will kill SaaS completely. Up next, we have a female leader at the cutting edge of the industry share her insights on what the industry's future might look like. In conversation with Elena Poughia, the managing editor of the Dataconomy Media, please welcome and give a big hand to the CEO and founder of Cledara, Cristina Vila.
Well, hello. There we are. This is today the last Web Summit day, isn't it?
I think so, yes.
Yes, okay, cool.
So we'll be quiet.
So yes, we are here. Last talk for me, for you as well, right?
Last one.
Last talk for us at the Web Summit for 2024 with all of you as well. So thank you for joining us to have this interesting, but also important conversation. I say interesting because I always feel like every time there's something new coming up, there's always the end of something else, right? Like SaaS was dominating the markets for a long time. Everybody wanted to bring software as a service in any possible shape or form, and now the same thing's happening with AI. Add AI, you'll get investment, right? In a really difficult market to get investment. So we're here to pretty much discuss this, right? So what is this next generation about? So maybe, Cristina, we started having a discussion just before, and I would love you to share also here with everybody about your journey as a founder and, when you started Cledara. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how that came about and became what it is now.
Yes, absolutely. So, most of my career has been in, the financial services industry. So, and it was there I learned a lot, that then I applied to fintech. So I joined a fintech startup where we were building a neobank for emerging markets. And it was while we were scaling that business and we were using a lot of different software applications that I realized the complexity that businesses have to suffer as a result of wanting to leverage all those pieces of software. And at that point, I had the option of solving the problem just for the company that I was working at, or decide to go and solve it for all the businesses out there, because I really believe that that's a problem that every company has, because every company is using software. So that's how I decided to then leave that neobank and start Cledara about 6.5 years ago.
Nice, okay. And so you saw a problem, right? You saw there was a need in the market. You came, and that's how Cledara came about. And I think when we're talking about AI, and that's maybe to give a bit of background about myself and what I've done so far, because you worked in a software as a service company. That's what you started. From my side, I started a media company, but that was focused on data science. So that was what back in 2015 was the word in the town, right? Like data. We all know that from data science you go to, not all, but the people who work in the space know that from data science you go to machine learning, and from machine learning now you get to AI, artificial intelligence. But that was always the connections, right? So we go from software now to AI, we go from data now to AI, and there's always a lot of discussion around on do we need to AI everything? There's you need to see a problem, you need to see a need, otherwise you're just using buzzwords, right? So I would say one of my first questions to you is that some believe that, eventually AI could replace traditional SaaS models, right? That was the effective business model of most websites until now. So from your perspective as a SaaS founder, do you think AI poses such kind of an existential threat to you? Do you think you can integrate AI in your solutions? Or do you think that just the same way that I was just saying, from SaaS we go to AI and we're just using that little word and then, and that's how it is? How do you see it?
So, I personally see it as a massive opportunity for SaaS companies. And we were actually here on this stage yesterday. Brad, my co-founder, was talking about some of the data that we have about the behavior of buyers of software and users of software. And one piece that was super interesting is that, AI is actually driving attention of buyers of software towards the SaaS market, right? So it is increasing that attention from buyers. And what we see is that, for example, 20% of all the software that companies are buying at the moment are AI products, right? So we already see that, so that's growing. The other thing that we could see is that the SaaS market is becoming bigger because of AI, right? So one in 20 companies are already reallocating budget from their people budget to their software budget, because they see the opportunities that with AI you can actually do more things with less people. This is good or bad for us, but that's what we see in the data at the moment. And then the other thing is that a lot of these AI products are being sold as SaaS. So it's still software, so it's being sold as SaaS, or they are embedded into existing SaaS products. So from that perspective, I see that it's a massive opportunity for SaaS businesses to bring it into their product or create additional products to complement those that they already have, which are AI-powered. Of course, there is a threat, right? And that's that AI makes it super easy to create new products at the moment, and you may think that you have an edge, but actually, the company around the corner is just building something much faster, cheaper, and better than what you could do before and what you have today. So that's something that we have to definitely be very aware and make sure that we continue innovating within what we are already offering. And I guess then there is the other thing, like people like Klana saying, we are going to stop using Salesforce and build it all in-house. I mean, that's a great sentence to say out there, but I actually don't think that that's the way to go, because not even the biggest companies in the world today are building their own software, their internal software, right? So you go to the specialized software for your finances, for your sales, for your marketing, and you really focus on building and using those AI capabilities, of course, for what is the core value that you bring to the market.
Right, so it does make it faster, right?
Yeah.
It just speeds up the process, but it's true, like also creating in silos is not the solution. I think I remember when at one of the first press conferences where Sam Altman actually even said that we will see soon the first billionaire solopreneur AI founder.
Yeah.
And I have to admit that this scared me. It was not something that I wanted, it was something I don't want, because it's true, right? Yes, of course you can do it in-house, but A, it can be buggy, and B, what's the fun then of doing business? You would like to have this sort of environment where you're working together. When it comes to apart from building it in-house, and of course if someone is working on a solution and this is the one product, it's much different from building it in-house, right? Because you can always optimize, and there's always iterations. So what is one of the biggest impacts you've seen so far already, in the SaaS space with using AI?
So, I mean, obviously, there are maybe a couple of aspects that I can take that question from, but there is so AI as a competitor, let's say, right? So we need to definitely look for it, right? So we need to be aware that in the end, if you think of a software company, what are we doing? In a very simplistic way, we are building software and we are selling software, right? Building software with AI is super easy at the moment for some things, great. Selling it, extremely hard. Selling it at scale, extremely hard. So software businesses need to make sure, and whether with AI or not in it, but you just need to make sure that you master that distribution and getting to market with your products. That is really the key, whether there is AI or not AI, right? To make something successful. Then for software businesses, I think, and that's, for example, how we do it, right? So we've embedded a lot of the AI into our internal operations. So from customer success with, helping them with answers or helping them draft all the help center articles. So because it makes it much faster, much more efficient. On sales, we use it to enrich data. Our engineers use it. We use it in compliance. We really use it everywhere. And I think that that's a way in which, every SaaS company should be using AI. And we've also incorporated into our product. right? And we have the luxury of having a lot of data, and I think that's something that the incumbents versus the new joiners, let's say, have the edge. Like if you are an incumbent, if you have data, think of how you can leverage that to really be at the forefront of it. Because in the end, AI, what does it do? It automates a process, or it processes a lot of data and gives you an answer. With a new tool, AI product, you can sure automate a process, but you don't have that data that is proprietary that you can deliver value to the customer. So I think those are, for example, in our case, the way that we've leveraged AI in the best way, and that I would encourage other companies, or I think other companies should do it too.
I mean, yes, you say it exactly. Like, I mean, I think this is the pathway that we think about, right? It's about like data to begin with, and then that data transforms into the automation. And it's good, as you say, to make your life easier by integrating in your own workflow and processes and help your in-house engineers and developers. From your perspectives, in what ways do you think SaaS companies should evolve to adapt to this AI-centric landscape? Like in the similar way that you do, essentially using it in-house or being informed, like is data the main thing that they need to actually be able to utilize it? How do you see it?
Yeah, and that's a super interesting statement you just made there, right? The AI-centric landscape, because using our own data, what we see is that we are not really in an AI-centric world yet. Like the budgets that companies are allocating to AI products is like 2 to 3%. It's really low. And the teams that use it the most within companies at the moment, as we see it, are the marketing teams. They are at 5 to 6%. So still really, really small allocation of budget towards those AI products. So where we are definitely is in a customer-centric world where we need to make sure that we deliver value to customers, and AI is a tool to deliver more value to those customers. And we should absolutely be thinking of how can we use it within our product for that purpose. So yes, I think that would be.
So essentially, it's more like it's the illusion of the marketing that we receive about AI, but actually, it's not that heavy. You say like still SaaS is really like what's the word like
everywhere. It's
everywhere,
95% of
yes.
the budgets, right? And what I will say though, which is true, right? So we are AI centric in terms of customer attention. Right, so customer attention, like customers want to buy AI products. They want to use AI products. They don't even know what for, but they want them, right? So it is definitely something that from a marketing perspective, you want to leverage, you want to be talking about it, you want to be putting it out there, because that will bring those customers to your door. It will not make them stay, right? So if the product is still not good enough, obviously you won't retain them, but you will definitely get to speak to them. And that's something that we also see in our data. While we see a lot of customers adopting and trying, we also see high churn from a lot of these AI tools, because maybe it's not what they were expecting. I don't know the reasons. We've not gone to analyze that deep yet. But, might be something like that. I expected more. It's not there. I'll wait another 6 months to see if it improves.
I mean, I can tell you from my perspective, like it has definitely so far helped a lot with, as you said, content creation. So basically, like it just makes the process of content creation much easier and simpler. But it does, and that's Gen AI, right? That's like pretty much the boom. But then when it comes to a lot of other, like using AI in other domains or industries, it's still like automating that processes. You need a lot more as well. You need like robots potentially. You need to the intelligence of the AI in other formats as well. So I think that there is a little bit like there's a way to go. I would love to touch upon a little bit also on the ethical side of things. I'm always curious about that's like in my involvement this year with Web Summit. Actually, I really wanted to highlight that as a to be part of panels and discussions that in some way we're questioning what is the whole AI about. So I'm wondering from your perspective, with this kind of disruptive force that we can see in potential with AI? What are the ethical and security considerations we should have? And what challenges do you foresee for SaaS companies as they incorporate more AI in their business?
Yeah. So definitely the data privacy aspect is key, right? And for example, in our case, we use AI to help buyers of software assess whether they are paying the right price for the software that they have, right? So only in the past 12 months, our customers have purchased or renewed 650,000 software subscriptions. This is by far the most data points that any other software management platform has in terms of this data. And we use that data very carefully, right? Because obviously there are a lot of different products, so we want to make sure that whenever we present that data back to the customers so that they can extract value out of it, that is properly, that the data set is large enough, that is anonymized, that is aggregated sufficiently so that you cannot find anything that helps you recognize who is behind that data, basically. So we make sure that we do that. And this is, our customers are already using 6,000 different products, right? So it is a lot of them there. And then the other one is transparency, right? Customers at the moment are very keen on trying anything, but you just need to truly label things for what they are. Like, you need to tell them that that's AI powered, because as we know, well, AI, like traditional software, is deterministic. You put one input, you'll get a result. You put the same input next, you get the same result. AI doesn't work like that. So if I'm expecting like you to answer something to me, right, and I think that maybe it's a human behind, but actually it's not, and then I get different answers when I ask the same question, that's very strange, potentially. But then if you know that that's a feature that's AI-powered, today customers expect some error rate there. They know, they are testing. So it's actually better if you label it for what they are, because you don't breach then the trust of your customers. So I think that for me, yeah, the data privacy and transparency around it is key for the success of it.
No, that's a very good point. Disclaimers, knowing that you're talking to an AI or a bot, rather than just thinking that you're talking to a human. I was worried we're not going to have enough time, but now I feel like I want to ask you a lot more and I don't have time. So maybe we close this with a remark and a question together. Obviously, we're both female founders on stage. I think it's a great thing to actually have it without making a statement out of it. So what do you see as the future of AI from the diversity perspective? And actually, like, what would you advise your customers as well? So put it in one sentence, both questions. How would you answer?
Yeah. So, I mean, I love diversity personally. Like, I've had the luxury of always working in very diverse environments. I think it's great for the role, it's great for company building, it's great for teams, it's great for, like new ideas, fresh ideas. Maybe that's going to be a controversial view then, though, but I actually don't think that diversity matters for software itself, right? Like, in the end, software helps me manage a process, AI helps me with some data, or whatever I want to use it. So for that in itself, it doesn't really matter. It matters for everything that is around, which obviously fits into it. So that would be my 2 cents there, because we don't have time. We're at 0. And my advice for any customers or people out there, I don't know, it's just move fast, right? Like, the speed at which things change is incredible at the moment. If before we thought we were going fast in updating our products and changing how we do things, now we need to do it 10 times faster than ever.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.